don't spend money you don't have. What that means is watch out for the 3 C's: cars, credit cards, and lines of credit. Starting with cars. When most people think, can I afford a car? They think, can I afford the monthly payment on that car? Can I afford the $600 a month lease payment? Can I afford the $584 a month on my monthly payment? But when you want to actually afford a car, I want you to understand that your car is a liability. That means it's losing value. So now you know that this car 5 years from now is going to be worth less money than it is today. And now, that being said, your car also has a limited time span because it's only so many years, so many miles that you can put on this car before it really just stops working. And on top of that, if you're going to be buying this thing that has a limited time span that's going to be losing value, why do you want to pay interest on top of that in order to drive this car? It's a triple whammy. And that's why if you want to go out and buy a car, I want you to afford the car, meaning not afford the monthly payments, but be able to afford the total cost of the car, buy it with cash. That way now you understand that this car is a liability. It's losing money every single month. And then if you can afford the car with cash, that means you might have to downsize which car you buy, but now you get to save the monthly payment and you get to keep that money for yourself to build wealth, to build your savings, to build your investments. The second C are credit cards. Stop spending money that you don't have. If you continue spending money on your credit card, what you're doing is now you are buying something that you can't afford, and then you have to pay interest that you can't afford to pay. And not just that, the interest on your credit card is 15, 18, 24, 27% a year. Now, to put that in perspective, if you had $6,500 of credit card debt, which is the average household credit card debt in America today, and you were paying 25% a year in interest, your APR, which is the average APR in America today, well, you're going to be paying a lot of money in interest. In fact, if you make the minimum payment, you're going to be paying close to $15,000 in interest just to pay off the $6,500 in credit card debt. But let's flip it around a little bit. What if you had $6,500 in your pocket today and you invested that money today? And now instead of you paying the 25% a year in interest, what if you could get the 25% a year in interest? Well, now if you could do that for 30 years and you never invest another penny, your $6,500 is going to grow to over $5 million. Why? Because 25% a year is an insane interest rate, but that's what you're paying to your credit card company every time you keep swiping and you can't afford to, which brings me to the third C, which is a line of credit. Why do people get lines of credits? You pull out a home equity line of credit or some other sort of line of credit to buy things that you don't have money for. But what is debt? I want to think about this from a theoretical perspective. What is debt? Debt is you're spending your future income today. And in exchange of you spending your future income today, you pay a price. That price is interest. So what do people use this line of credit for? People take this line of credit and they go out and buy a car, they buy a boat, they buy some clothes, or they buy a vacation. So now let's put this in perspective. You're taking next year and the year after that income and you're spending it today on a vacation. As soon as you spend the $10,000 on the trip to Cancun, that money's gone. But then you have to spend next year and the year after that paying off this trip. And then you have to spend the year after that paying off the interest on the trip. Instead, what I want you to do is stop spending money you don't have. That way you were to save up the money first so you don't have to pay the bank in order to pay the fee to go on the trip. You're already going to have to pay fees. You got to pay for the flight. You got to pay for the food. You got to pay for the hotel. But you don't want to pay interest on top of that. If you work to save up the money first, then you don't got to worry about paying the bank too. Number 2 is don't just be a consumer. Let me explain how the American economic system works. I'm telling you this as somebody who learned this the hard way, because in the American economic system, you have consumers, you have investors, and then you have entrepreneurs. And the way the system works is entrepreneurs, if you're starting a business, you might go out and get money from investors. Investors give you money, and in exchange, investors take an ownership in your business. But the people that are buying things from the entrepreneurs are consumers. Now, what you got to remember is every single person is a consumer. You have to consume. Everybody needs food. Everybody needs a clothes on their back. Everybody needs shoes. Everybody needs things, right? That's what the world is. I mean, you need things. But the problem is most people in America are only consumers. Now, part of the reason for that is our education system, because we're only taught to work a job and consume things. We're never taught to start a business. We're never taught to invest, and we're never taught how to use our money. Instead, what we're taught to do is go work for somebody else and just spend your money however you want. That's what we're taught to do. But in this economic system where you have consumers, investors, and entrepreneurs, guess what happens? Consumers spend money, they give it to entrepreneurs, they give it to a business, and then the person that benefits are the investors and the entrepreneurs. What does that mean? Well, consumers' dollars are flowing into businesses, and that benefits investors. That means consumers keep spending money and the entrepreneurs, investors keep collecting the money. Which means if you want to win in this system, you don't have to go and start a business. I mean, if you want to, that's great, but you don't have to. But you have to at least become an investor, because that's the way that you get rich in this economic system. You don't get rich by becoming a doctor. You don't get rich by playing in the NBA. You don't get rich by becoming a singer. I mean, all those things can bring you a huge salary, but as soon as you stop doing surgeries, you stop making money. If you're in the NBA, as soon as you stop dribbling the ball, you stop making money. If you are a celebrity and as soon as you stop singing, you stop making money. But if you want to continue building that wealth, that means you got to take the dollars that you earn, and you take these dollars and you start owning assets, stocks, real estate, other types of investments. That way now your wealth can continue growing even beyond you working. And this is where most people get confused. They think if I just make more money, I'm rich. No, if you make more money, you can buy more things, because now you can qualify for more credit card debt. You can qualify more credit. You can qualify for more cars, the 3 C's. But if you really want to build wealth, what you got to do is you're working to make more money so you can own more assets. You got to stop being just a consumer. That means you work to earn more money without spending all your money, so you have more money to invest. That's the way that you win in this economic system in America. Number 3 is don't rely on the government. Now, we've been covering this a lot in market briefs, but we had this tough situation in America. We're facing this retirement crisis where we have a lot of old people that are entering retirement age, but they have no money, or they have a little bit of money, nowhere near how much money they need to retire. And these old people, I'm not saying this disrespectfully, I'm saying this just in terms of age. These old people who are retiring are realizing that their retirement plans didn't work out. They were hoping for a pension, they were hoping for their savings to be there, and then they were hoping that their Social Security would be enough for them to retire. Well, now you're getting this news flash that Social Security is nowhere near enough. And not just that, what we're realizing is that the Social Security funds are dropping year after year. And what that means is Social Security, the money that you're paying into Social Security every time you get paid, is taking your money to fund somebody else's retirement. It's supposed to go to fund your retirement, but your money is going to fund somebody else's retirement. And this is why, if the Social Security system doesn't change, that the funds in the Social Security fund are going to run out. Now, that will change. Just practically speaking, okay? They're going to make some adjustments. Maybe they'll raise the taxes. Maybe they'll do something to find more money for Social Security. But what people are realizing is you cannot rely on Social Security in order to live a good retirement. And that's why I want you to stop relying on the government to fund your retirement, or to really fund anything in life, because I want you to be able to live a life the way that you want instead of the way that somebody else wants you to live it. And you're in control of that, because if you know how to put your money aside, if you know how to invest your money, you can live your life the way you want and not have to rely on somebody else to take care of you. And that's why I want you to plan for your own finances. Don't rely on somebody else to take care of you. You need to figure out how you can take care of you. And if you get a Social Security check, use that as icing on the top, because the real way for you to live your life the way you want is by building your own wealth, building your own financial freedom, and not relying on Social Security. By the way, if you don't know what Market Briefs is my free financial newsletter that I created through Briefs Media, where my team is working to break down what's happening in things like the economy, housing, stocks, crypto, and the global economy. It's a fun, witty, and easy to read newsletter. You can read it in less than 5 minutes every morning, and it's completely free. So if you haven't joined Market Briefs yet, I got the link to how you can join down in the description below. And if you don't love it, well, you can unsubscribe at any time because it's free. If you enjoyed this clip and you want to continue your financial education journey, I have another video that I think you'll love. All you got to do is click that button right over there. And for those of you who want to stay up to date on the top finance and business news, you can join Market Briefs, my free financial newsletter, by clicking that button below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.